If you are interested in starting your own podcast, we use Buzzsprout because it is simple and easy to use. Buzzsprout can get your show listed on every major platform while giving you the resources for a great podcast website, audio players that can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to your podcast, and tools to promote your episodes. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that is why over 100,000 podcasters are already subscribed to Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Following the link in our episode descriptions lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So in return, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift card from Buzzsprout while signing up for a paid plan. Most importantly, every subscription through our link is always appreciated and helps support our show so we can continue delivering the quality content that you guys listen to. That being said, back to the show.
Hello and welcome to Comic Book Junkies. I'm Andrew,
This is Joe.
and this week we're coming at you with a topic episode. This time we're looking at famous collectors, or I guess famous comic fans. No one's that super vocal other than like Kevin Smith, which I feel like he's like half famous because of comics at this point. But there's plenty of comic fans out there. You see most of them at your comic shop, but some of these people you'd be surprised to see walking into your store. I mean, obviously books have been around popular since like the 40s really. So there's been plenty of time for, plenty collectors to show up. So we're going to take a little bit of a look here, see some interesting people we think that, celebrities or, other people that collect books or, comic fans of some capacity and, discuss a little bit about that. But before we get in, how's it going, Joe?
Good. I figured before we get right into it that you'd let the people know about your recent pickups.
Sure. So
Little
yeah,
health and wellness check.
yeah, health and wellness check. So I've been basically just hanging out the past week or so. Have a little surgery done, a little cleanup. And when Joe picked me up and took me to the comic book store, which was cool, before we
Real
watched the
friends.
Lions. And saw some cool books in there. We ended up seeing a first appearance of Doctor Doom, raw copy behind the counter that piqued my interest, and I did something, or I started formulating the plan for something I haven't done in a long time, which is a comic book trade. So typically, I mean, it's something I used to do. I mean, that's how I got my Mirror Master. I think I made trades for other books that were smaller, but you've likely heard that I kind of lost my ass on that trade, even though I don't necessarily regret it. But it's been long enough now. I figured I'd make one more trade, try and get that Doctor Doom. Took a whole box of stuff that Joe went through with me. We're talking like good bronze, like high age bronze or high grade bronze, and some good Silver Age keys. Iron Man 1, first Thanos, like first Batgirl, stuff like that. No dice. I mean, obviously that kind of makes sense. Like 28 books for one book. It's kind of a toss up. It's a bit easier to sell one. But while Doctor Doom did not join the collection, Fantastic Four issue 4 was there. It was a third of the price, and I still was able to make a trade, albeit it was like a lot less books and a little bit of cash to go along with it. But 2.0 slabbed copy CGC first appearance or Silver Age appearance of Namor the Submariner also happens to be the first time the Human Torch says flame on when using his powers. So cool little Fantastic Four history there. It's my earliest issue of Fantastic Four. I mean, it's issue 4. Pumped to have it. A lot of Silver Age first appearances to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong for that because, like, yeah, it's easier to sell one book than 28, but like, I mean, I'm sure that that shop in particular gets customers that have the wallet for a book like that. But when you're holding on to one book that's that expensive, it usually sits a little longer, not because of lack of demand, just like lack of people that could afford something like that that would go into a shop and buy that. You know what I mean? So it's easier to move
Yeah.
books that go for a little less, you know what I mean? But still, yeah, I mean, you still came out with a really good book. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
proud.
pumped to have it. Thank you. One of the cornerstones now. But that being said, we are going to end up discussing some people who could walk into the comic book store and buy that Doctor Doom like it was nothing. So let's start off. You know what? You don't need to know how the sausage is made. You want to just go with like my first one, see if you got some
Yeah, we
thoughts
can
on
go
that.
back and forth.
So because we're in Michigan, not exactly my favorite, maybe this is a hot take, but Eminem, Venom, 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 Venom from, Venom notoriety. big Spider-Man guy. Has a first appearance, Spider-Man apparently. He's got Amazing Fantasy 15. I guess he always wanted to be a comic artist. Going around town, we've been to plenty of different stores, and everybody and their brother around here tries to say that they sold like Eminem like a bunch of Spider-Man books for his collection. Like I swear, I've been to a handful of shops, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, Eminem totally came in here and got like this, and that." And I'm like, "I'm sure he did, buddy." But yeah, I mean, he's probably one of the bigger names on the list, but with it being a local thing, I find it interesting, like him of all people. Could you imagine if he wasn't a rapper and he was just a comic artist? He wouldn't be
Yeah,
doing as well.
I knew he was always interested in Spider-Man. I didn't know that he wanted to be a comic book artist. Unfortunately, he made a career out of rap and now as a living harassing the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, dude.
But
He's on the
no,
team now.
yeah, he's a fan. I guess he had his own title at one point in time, Eminem Punisher. I found
Yeah,
that
that's
out.
sick. That was in what was that, a double XL mag or something?
I don't know.
It was an insert in a magazine. I've actually looked into it before. They're pretty expensive, I think.
Well, so is that new variant that came out with him and Spider-Man.
Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, but he's tied to comic books. Yeah, and then to your point, I was gonna bring it up later, but we were in Royal Oak and some guy swears that he sold comic books to Eminem, and so if it's a lie, blame the store, not Burger and I.
Mhm.
But yeah, so an Amazing Fantasy 15 is nothing to scoff at though.
No.
So I guess another rapper. I guess I wasn't really a Wu-Tang guy, not for lack of quality, just I never really listened to him much. But Method Man.
Yeah.
So another rapper that really likes comics. I don't know any of these people personally, so this is just all stuff I read off of like Go Collect and everything. But apparently he has like a 300,000 plus issues, like One and Ted, and started collecting pretty early. I guess he picked up like Hulk 181 as it was coming out. So I'm sure the dude has bigger books than that, but apparently he's written a few comic books too. So you got to love the support for the medium regardless.
Facts. There seems to be like a little bit of like the hip hop community and like the comic community crossing over. I mean, MF Doom, obviously. What's his face? He was in it escapes me. He was in Run DMC, wasn't he? What's his oh yeah, Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC. He also is a hip hop head who is a comic fan. I mean, you think he's got his own book now, but it's cool that the like hip hop community is like cool with comics.
Yeah, not that I cared about it, but remember they were doing those like album variant covers too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
those were
something
solid.
there.
Yeah, there definitely is. But
But
changing up
my
genres. Oh,
favorite artist, musical artist that's ever been into comic books, Elvis Presley.
that's exactly what I was gonna segue into myself.
Yeah,
Elvis.
personal favorite on this list in general, the king of rock and roll, also a collector. A lot of his coolness was inspired by Captain Marvel Jr. I'm sure
Fuck
Berger
yeah.
could tell you more, but like a lot of the fits, the little squirrely in his hair.
The iconic hair split curl, Cap Jr., the white jumpsuit in the 70s, the fucking high collars, the short cape, the lightning belt buckle, even. Everything was just inspired by Captain Marvel Jr. Apparently, he was collecting them since the 40s and even held on to a bunch of them. I hear like if you tour his like estate and everything, they still have some of the couple copies of the books like laying out on like a table or something in one of the rooms. So I like that they well, I mean obviously I'm the Captain Marvel guy here, Shazam for the uninitiated. But Captain Marvel Jr. obviously holds I hold him in pretty high regard, so I find it cool that Elvis one had good taste and two was like super inspired for being such a pop icon by a comic character like that. Definitely rules.
I agree.
But you want to know who goes crazy though, as far as comic fans go? I think this is a guy that you would have a lot of similarities with. I don't even know what I mean by that because you're I don't think you're anything alike. But Nicolas Cage.
I knew you were
This
going
guy,
there. Both
yeah, he's
big
because he's
Superman fans.
that's why, because he used to own an Action Comics issue one that was valued at over $1 million, which I believe was stolen, which that would just kill me, dude.
Apparently, that and a Detective Comics 27 was also stolen from him. And I read
No
that
shit.
messed him up so bad that he just got rid of the rest of his collection in an auction,
I,
gave it
I
all
I
up.
feel like that's like a reasonable thing to do. If you just had like $2 million worth of books pilfered, like I'd be like, well, what the fuck does the rest matter? Like I'd be just so defeated, be like, I,
Yeah, I
you
would
know,
I would go out my life on the line trying to
Find that.
defend whoever's coming into my home stealing that.
I would turn
Like,
into a vigilante.
yeah, I would too.
Yeah, dude, I'd turn into the Punisher over an Action Comics one.
Yeah, right. You know what's weird though? I hope it's not true. Like I said, I got a lot of this from like places like Go Collect and whatever, but apparently Nicolas Cage's last name used to be like Coppola. And when he was getting into Hollywood, he wanted to disassociate himself with like everything previously and legally changed his last name to Cage because of Luke Cage. And then
Cool.
even named his son Kal-El.
Yes.
That's
That's
nuts.
dedication. That's something only a rich person could do. You
Yeah.
you just name any
Could you imagine naming our kids Kal-El?
oh no, yeah, dude, oh Kal-El burger.
Oh no.
What the hell? The kid's destined to get swirlies, get
No
reverse
kidding.
pantsed at the urinal.
But
Yeah, nothing good.
somebody who could probably get a swirly, Kevin Smith, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
Yeah, like I feel like he barely counts because he's more famous for comic book stuff nowadays. But I don't know. I the only thing I'll give him is this. I read that he was selling his own like collection to finance clerks, and that's kind of what made him famous. So with that, he deserves to be on the list. But yeah, in that same breath, like I don't know, like comic book men, like isn't that what it was called? That
Something like
TV
that, wasn't it?
show was just
That shit, I used to like hate watch it. I feel like no offense to like actual like people with disabilities, but those guys could not read like social cues and like they had like that one guy who was like his friend who was like also a fat wizard, like Alan Moore knockoff guy. I mean, we even had a running joke because like there was sometimes I go to some small cons and we see like some of the guys running around there. I'm like, what the hell are you even doing here, bro? Like in one hand, like you're too big for this, but at the same hand, like isn't it hilarious that you're like in some like no-name town in Michigan, like running about in like a farmer's stall like type shit? I'm just like, what are you doing? But a bunch of fucking goofy goobers. But now I just sound like a hater. But you know what? I just, that would be
facts.
the type of show I would like to watch. Like if they could make the inner workings of a comic book store like interesting, like the day to day. But I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a brick and mortar that you could follow that would actually be somewhat interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I
And
don't mean to
and
be
then
mean either, because it's just like for what it was, Clerks was good at that time when I watched it for the first time. You know what I mean?
oh,
Like,
I loved Clerks too, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I loved all of that stuff.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like I think you could give him credit for kind of, helping Ben
Any,
Affleck kind of transition into the comic book scene a little bit too.
yeah,
But in that same breath, like again, no shade. Like, I don't remember any like sweet runs, and it's just like I don't
onomatopoeia.
know how you become like the comic book guy.
He's the comic guy, which, props to him. He carved out that lane. But yeah, I don't understand it. At least in recent years, I don't know. But let's get off the weird negative train we just took down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's
Uh
look at
Positively? I don't know. I guess I'm not a huge fan of either of these guys either, but Barack Obama.
okay, good preface for that one, Joe.
I mean,
Yeah, I heard he's a big Spider-Man guy.
yeah, he appeared on a cover for Spider-Man
Sure did.
583.
Yeah, that
So,
won't catch that in Joe's collection, apparently.
no, the story sounds sweet. So apparently the chameleon was impersonating Obama, and then Spider-Man
Hard.
has to like destroy him.
Oh
So
shit.
he beats Obama, but it's really the chameleon.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
I also read that he's big into Conan the Barbarian. So
Hard.
respect. That's hard. Yeah. Apparently he
Respect.
collected Spider-Man and Conan, so that's sweet. Apparently
If I saw
he doesn't like Pokemon, but I guess that's not really comic books.
Yeah, that's true. But damn, what a weird hill to die on, dude. That shit was hitting. He's just too old to understand. He wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But how cool would it be like the respect would your respect for him go up if you saw him in like a loincloth swinging a greatsword?
Obama?
Yeah, like Conan.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that go pretty hard?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So that aside that who else don't you like since you're coupling these here with people you don't like?
Ryan Reynolds. I
I
mean,
I used
like,
to like
he's a
early
great
period
Deadpool,
Ryan Reynolds.
you know?
Yeah, but good Deadpool is still Deadpool.
Exactly.
Oh, Jimmy Chungas, Rainbow Cat, fucking,
Facts.
fucking YouTube,
Yeah.
YouTube circa 2008. Like, what the hell? Like, shut up.
Dude loves playing comic book characters, so made
Good
my
for him.
list. But yeah, I don't know. I don't
Well, I was
hate
gonna
any of
say,
these people. I'm sorry. It's me today.
Yeah, we just have one of them days.
Yeah.
But you know who is cool is Samuel L. Jackson, which I mean this sounds obvious as hell. He plays Nick Fury. But I did find it interesting that he says that like collecting comics had a profound like effect on him like as a person. Apparently he's more of a DC Comics fan than a Marvel guy, which I find cool, seeing as how he's a big part of the Marvel franchise, that he's a DC dude. Because same,
You ever
even
see
though I'm not.
Unbreakable?
No. Well, I haven't seen it, but that he's Mr. Glass, isn't he? I saw the pictures of it with the
Yeah.
him in the comic book store.
Yeah, that's a pretty comic but influenced movie. So
Yeah,
you could tell even outside the Marvel movies now that he enjoys it.
which I like. Here's one too. I got one more that might surprise you if you don't have it on your own research yourself. Megan Fox.
I was saving that for my honorable mentions. I don't know how involved she is, but somebody wrote that, it wasn't like a coincidence that she's like Ninja Turtles and Transformers. Like
Transformers.
she likes comic books.
She likes independent stuff. She's not a Marvel or DC gal. She likes like Witchblade, Gen 13, and Fathom. So she likes more of the independent stuff I'm not as knowledgeable about. Those are my blind spots. But apparently that's I don't know. I mean, if she can repeatedly state those three titles, I mean, she probably isn't lying. Because if she wanted to lie about being a comic fan, it'd be easier to sell out and just be like, yeah, I fucking love, Wonder Woman or fucking Batman, like everyone says. But apparently she also specifically likes J. Scott Campbell. So big fan of his art specifically. I don't know. I mean, not a bad opinion. He's pretty good. So, I mean, I guess I don't know what to think about Megan Fox, just other than we grew up in the time when she was on top and she was just smoking hot. So I just find it cool that a chick that hot's into comic books.
Eh, Speaking of which, I was watching Love on the Spectrum, and
Okay.
they were on this date, and
Speaking
they're
of
like, "Do
which,
you like Transformers? I love Transformers. Like, I got a Transformers poster in my room." And I was thinking, I bet it's just a picture of Megan Fox.
that'd be sweet.
Wouldn't it be funny to
Megan Fox on like
stay
the
on a
hood of
date?
Bumblebee.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, swimsuit calendar with her like with each of the Autobots. It's her like washing like Optimus Prime in his like truck form.
Okay.
Hit me up. Shit, who the
Uh,
hell owns them? Is that Mattel or Hasbro? Hasbro.
I don't know.
I'm the idea guy here. Fucking hit me up. We're hiring Megan Fox for a calendar. I don't know who we're selling that to. Fucking kids who buy the toys. Oh, dude, that'd
Oh
be cool.
no.
Whatever. Uh,
So I'm gonna that's stupid.
yeah, I'm not like I never said I was a genius, but anywho's it. More people who like books apparently. I found this one is cool. I don't really have much to elaborate on it, but apparently Rashida Jones says that
Found
she's a
that
big
too.
comic. That's cool.
I didn't
You
find
got Meg.
much on it either, but apparently she wrote her own comic book. It seemed like
That's
a
cool.
more independent stuff too, like Megan Fox. Not necessarily superhero stuff, but whatever.
Yeah,
What
big.
were you gonna say? Megan Fox,
Uh,
Rashida Jones?
it's just cool.
It's just cool. Okay.
It's just cool, man.
No calendar ideas.
Not for Rashida. Oh,
Okay.
Rashidi. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
so is Kate Beckinsale. Apparently her ex-husband and kids fucking love him. So now she has like a vague fondness for them, which I just find cool. I'm just finding random actresses who are into it. Her, Rosario Dawson. Well, she's in a bunch of nerd shit. Because isn't she like Ahsoka or whatever in the Star Wars stuff nowadays?
Yeah.
But apparently she likes the comic books too, not just Star Wars. So I'm like, that's cool. There's so many damn people who apparently have like a fondness for them, but sometimes it's really hard to find anything out about these people like further. It's just
Right,
like,
because you
yeah, they
don't
said they
know.
liked Batman.
Right.
Right.
Once 10 years ago.
Right. And then like it's and then some of them are obvious because they're working in the comic stuff, but apparently like it goes further than just that because like apparently Dwayne the Rock Johnson, he's a comic fan.
Yep.
Because he's like a big proponent for wanting to be like Doc Savage, which I find cool because it's not like just regular people are big Doc Savage fans. So he's got to have some relation to books. And I don't know. I mean, he's a wrestler. I mean, there's kind of a overlap there, costumes and bravado and theatrics. I mean, weird storylines. So I mean, I could see that too. there's all kinds of
Yeah.
people, but
I saw like Henry Cavill, Gene
well, he likes
Simmons.
like Warhammer or what, or World of Warcraft or whatever, right? Or no, he likes
So
Warhammer. Yeah, he likes
James
that stuff.
Gunn, obviously. List goes on. The point is, we have a lot of representation. There's people just like us.
Yeah,
They're
just like
famous.
us. Yeah, Big Bang take Little Bang. Fucking
Speaking of which, you and I are
yeah.
famous. What does
Yes.
your
Inter
collection look like?
Well, we are famous. So you mean currently or when we're more famous? I'm just
When
my
our
ideal
downloads aren't cut in half.
cool. So my ideal celebrity collection, like if I was like a Nick Cage type,
Yeah.
well,
What's that look like?
I'd probably pull the Nick Cage move if I can, but I mean if we're talking high priority, we're talking, Wiz Comics issue 2. We're talking a Detective 27. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably be buying one of everything. I'm trying to do that already, and my budget's nowhere near Nick Cage's, but I mean, I guess priorities would always be like a Wiz 2. After that, everything else is kind of gravy, but I mean, like, that's my book. If I could just get like a nice one, that'd be pretty sick. Marvel Family 1 and then a Wiz 25, because those are like the other main ones I'm missing. So I definitely have like Golden Age Captain Marvel on lock, if I guess it would be my main goal. That and probably like the early Silver Age like showcase stuff. I don't know, dude. I could list stuff all day, dude. Like first Solomon Grundy, we'd have first Brave and the Bull 28. We'd have everything, bro. But how about you?
I'd probably have a full run of Action Comics,
Yeah,
Superman,
yeah,
Batman, Detective Comics, and Amazing
yeah.
Spider-Man. And nothing would be graded, but everything would
Nothing.
be in decent condition or better.
I mean, shit, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, like once you get to a certain level of celebrity, it's really not. Because think about it, like the biggest book that sells went for what, like a little over 3 mil. It's like if you're a solid stature celebrity, like that's not really the craziest thing. That'd be, oh man, I wish a fucking super like Action Comics one was a drop in the hat. Maybe someday. Well, cool.
That's
I
all
don't
I
really think
got.
I got, that's
Yeah.
really all I got too. Turns out like I already knew like half of these people, but we're trying to find a little bit more detail. And then, I mean, some of these other people, I was just like, oh, that's surprising. I mean, who were you most surprised by? Mine was just like Megan Fox, I guess, even though
Megan Fox.
she was in a bunch of nerd stuff, but like I thought it was just leave it at that.
Yeah, and maybe Rashida Jones. I guess I wasn't expecting that either.
No. I always find it crazy that she's Quincy Jones' daughter. He made The Secret Garden with Barry White and all those other guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Also, she was better than Pam on The Office.
I think everybody knows that and agrees.
I don't know what the general consensus is these days, but I felt like it had to be said.
And Roy is better than Jim.
Honestly, yeah, he is. The
He
show
was
focused
setting
on the
the
wrong
right
people.
expectations. Why didn't Rashida get with Roy?
The world may never know. I don't know how fucking Jim
You
fumbled
know, speaking of
Rashida.
The Office, I saw some stupid stuff in my feed about like Billie Eilish taking a picture with Angela at the airport. It's just like I was going to think like even celebrities find the Office cast like famous. Like they got to be some of the most recognized people around the whole United States.
Yeah, the show really just took off. I mean, a lot of those actors weren't even big time. Like the only one who really was Steve Carell. I mean, Rainn Wilson had like kind of a following, and then Jenna Fisher kind of, but like everybody else was like basically unknown. I mean, I don't even think Toby was an actor. I think I literally don't. I think they literally just found Toby and they're like, you're gonna play this guy.
You look
So it's just like,
unpleasant.
yeah, for real. And like Creed Bratton, his name literally is Creed Bratton. So it's just like some of them weren't even playing characters. It's weird. But yeah, I know it is. It's crazy how that takes over, especially with it not being like an original thing. Like there was a British version and it ended up like, well, I mean, we're American, so we only know the American opinion, but it seems like it took over compared to the original. It's not like I see people sharing clips of the original.
Yeah, the British one's great, and I would be all about it if that's all there was. But yeah, I think the American version kind of was better.
Yeah, well, they couldn't make that nowadays. Tell you what. You look uncomfortable, Joe.
Okay. Yeah.
They wouldn't get away with half of that shit anymore, Joe.
All right. Well, that's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, that's a
All
good one.
right. You
All right.
you
Well,
want to
with that,
provide our handles?
yeah, dude. Christ. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome. CBJ Pod. That's where you'll find us. That's Instagram, CBJ Podcast on Facebook, on YouTube, Comic Book Junkies, type in Comic Book Junkies Podcast. See our awesome logo. It's us two cheesing with like dynamic colors in the back. You can't miss it. If you want to hear a bunch of good talking, tell your friends. They'll enjoy it too.
And if you're
What's
missing it,
up?
you're intentionally avoiding us. So stop.
Yeah, dude. And that's rude as hell. And force everyone you know to listen to us. And also rate and review and subscribe, which is so I don't even like saying it. It feels gross. Feels like I need to go to reconciliation after asking you to do all that. But do it if you can. It does help us somehow, some way. Gonna make it there someday. We're at
Bars.
the end of this. Bars. Yeah. We're at the end of this one though. So yeah, you heard all the good stuff. And if you've already heard that whole spiel before, congrats to making it this far for real.
Yeah, what,
If you listen all
95
the way,
episodes? Oh,
I'm
just
not even
today.
talking
Yeah,
about that.
today
I'm just
was
talking
rough.
about the end of this episode. I mean, God bless you if you
Sloppy.
make it
Yeah.
to yeah, if you make it to this portion, like consistently, especially, we salute you. Like you are the real comic book junkies. Like we need more of y'all. Fucking junkie army, rise up. Damn.
Oh, what do you say to that?
We'll say thank you and we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Bye.